Hello students, welcome back to our Excel Academy channel, and in this video we will have MCQs on business environment. Like all of you know, business environment is again a foundation subject, and you can expect questions worth 40 marks from this subject. And here we'll be focusing on the first chapter, that is business environment and its nature. Now there are 10 questions in this series, and let us see the questions and the answers that are lined up for us. The first question is early identification of opportunities gives businesses dash. Now here, when a company, when a business identifies the objectives or the opportunities in the market very early and enter that business, such an advantage is generally called the first movers advantage. Now you can take this as example. We all call Xerox, and what is Xerox? Xerox is actually a company which first introduced commercial photocopiers. So that's how the companies will get synonym with the product. So the early identification of opportunities gives the companies, the businesses, the first movers advantage. The second question is, to make people happy is the vision statement of. It is definitely not the vision statement of ICSI. ICSI focuses on corporate governance and ethics and compliance. ICAI focuses on accounting standards. So the answer is Disney. Disney is into entertainment, we all know. So they have this vision of making everybody happy across the world. So the option answer for this is option C. The next question is research and development. We generally refer to it as R&D is a dash factor. Is it external factor? Definitely not. It doesn't depend on others. So the answer should be internal environment. It is very internal to any organization. When a company decides to do research and development and come out with better and greater products, it is purely internal to them. So the answer is internal. You all should be knowing companies like Apple spend billions of dollars on improving their product every day, and it is very, very internal to their operations. The fourth question is micro environment is also called. See, micro environment is also called the operative environment. And just to add to this, the answer is B. The question and answer is over here. It is the micro environment is also called operative environment. Just to give an idea, the general environment is called the macro environment. So these are the two phrases which you need to remember. Micro environment is operative in nature, and macro environment is general environment. Right. The fifth question is state true or false. Shareholders are stakeholders too. Now here we need to understand the concept of stakeholders. Anybody who has got any sort of relation with any business, he becomes a stakeholder. Customers are stakeholders, investors are stakeholders, suppliers, vendors, employees, everybody are collectively called stakeholders. So shareholders are people who have invested capital in the business, so they can be referred to as stakeholders. So this is a statement which is true. So the answer is option A. Study of population is called dash. This is our sixth question. This is the definition of demography. Demography is the study of population. So the answer for this question is option C. Question number 7. Identify one of the objectives of privatization from the following options. We know that in the year 1991, India introduced the new economic policy, and this new economic policy is very popularly called as LPG. So here the question is identify one of the objectives of privatization. So what is the answer for this? To have more private companies? Definitely not. To have control over Indian corporate? No. So the answer for this would be to lessen the burden on taxpayers, because the public limited companies were running on the taxpayers' money, and when the public limited companies go under loss, it is the taxpayers' money which is used by those companies. So in order to save that, the privatization was done. One of the objectives was that. So the answer for this question is option C. Question number 8. Business environment is a dash concept as it differs from country to country. See, we know that business environment is highly dynamic in nature, and from one country to another country it keeps changing. So we generally refer to it as a relative concept, because it is different from in one country when compared to another country. Let's move on to the ninth question. Reduction in the number of industries reserved Now this is the key word here: reduction in the number of industries reserved for public, that is for the government, and the introduction of selective competition is in the reserved areas was the objective of. So this was basically an objective of privatization. Public limited companies started moving out, that is government started moving out of businesses, and the companies which were reserved only for government was reduced, and this is an objective of privatization. So the answer for this question is option A. The next question, this is question number 10. Reduction in tax rates was achieved under dash in India. See, this is a little tricky here. Why is it tricky? The moment you read this, you will feel that the tax rates were reduced according to new economic policies which was introduced in the year 1991. This is what comes to our mind, and we may tick this. But if you look at the other options, B, C, and D are talking about liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Here, the answer definitely is liberalization, because business was liberalized by reducing the tax. So, how do we understand that it is liberalization and not economic policy? See, LPG is a part of new economic policy, and for this question, liberalization is a very specific answer. Now, let's understand one thing. In MCQs, the paper setter would always look for very specific answers. So, although it appears as the answer is new economic policy, here the very specific answer is liberalization. So, answer for this question is option B, and it is liberalization. I hope we will go on to the last one, that is question number 10. Lower interest rate is a dash factor. Now, lower interest rate, we are talking about interest. Interest is generally levied on loan, and loan is money. So, whenever we talk something related to money, it should be economical in nature. So, lower interest rate is a factor which is related to the economical factor. So, the answer for this is option D. I hope you understood 10 questions and the explanations associated to it. If you have any doubts, you may leave your questions in the comment section and we will get back to you. And if you are yet to subscribe for our channel, please do hit the subscribe button and press the bell button for the notifications. Thank you so much.